Jonathan and Katie, welcome. Jonathan, my first question is for you. Tell us why you believe that collaboration is so important in the communities where we serve.
Well, I think, first off, collaboration is God's plan. And more than anything, well, one, just looking at what in the Bible, we have so many great examples. I think of Nehemiah getting every individual tribe to work together towards a common goal. And I think when people look at the nonprofit space, they often see competition and division or individuals. And I think people are frustrated. We're also not seeing the change we need in the sectors in foster care and homelessness. And, are any of these big issues really being solved with all our efforts individually? And I think the answer is probably no. And I think God actually does have an intention to unite his people in new ways to solve big problems like Nehemiah did in collaborating.
Yeah, I think what you said that's really interesting. There's a lot of the problems that we're facing and the things that we're trying to impact are too big for one person or one organization to solve, right? Yeah, Katie, what would you add there?
I think I just reemphasize the idea of, I think we get caught in this trap of rebuilding the wheel as individuals and entrepreneurs, whether it's a nonprofit or ministry. And so we think, I can tweak it just a little bit and do it a little bit better, but it's not actually, we're still only cutting out a sliver of the piece of pie, to impact whatever that topic is or that community. And so I do think we need all these different individuals. Collaboration is all these different individuals making up different slices of the pie so that we can holistically come at that problem and meet it together. And I think that unity takes so much die to self. I think that it takes so much of us to just continue to say, okay, I will not be the only known thing, whatever it is that inside of us, right? To be known for something or known to be in charge of something or the thought leader in that we have to die to self in order to collaborate. But I think that's where we see big movement forward in changing tides for especially marginalized people group. That's where Jonathan and I really, are focused, but that's where we're going to see a shift unlike we've never seen before, is by us all coming together and not just caring about our own thing, but about the whole.
I love that dying to self piece right there, right? We think about what that means for us individually and even spiritually, right? But what does it mean for our work and our ministries in our own communities? I think that's powerful. Okay, my next question is this, guys. How about donors out there? What are you seeing in donor circles? Do donors and givers like to see collaboration amongst different ministries, churches, and nonprofits?
Yeah, absolutely. There's just a massive donor fatigue with the constant stream of pleas and of individual nonprofits coming, trying to get money and with their new great solution to solving this particular problem. And it's not that any one of them is bad. I just think there's a fatigue of why are these big things not changing? And I'm having just a different face and coming into my office every year. And so they're looking, I think I just met with a big donor just now, and they were just saying how frustrated, they're looking for new ways to get behind to solve problems and not just support individual nonprofits.
Yeah, that's great. Katie, how about your thoughts there?
Yeah, we're kind of a novice in this area still of fundraising. But I do think that people divide their pennies, right? And people want to, donors have the heart to give to something, but they want to know that dollar is going to actually make an impact. And so I think the idea of collaboration, of more people, more think tank, more strategy, and a togetherness comes, especially under the Christian world, right? Because it's all of you are doing good, but who do I choose? And I care about this issue. And so if we cannot be seen as a competitive, that's not the right word, but I don't know what the right word is, right? That there doesn't have to be a choice, but there is a like common, if I give the same dollar and all of you can make that same dollar go further and actually impact and change. I, as my own donor self, am interested in giving my dollar there. So I would think that would translate, to major donors.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think a great reminder, right? That donors want to see impact and they want to see problems solved, right? And so one of the main ways that can happen is through great like-minded collaboration. So a bunch of people can tackle an issue and actually make some headway with it. Yeah, I love that. Okay, last thing, guys. Do you have any great collaboration stories out there? Katie, let's start with you on this, and then Jonathan, love it if you could share one as well.
Yeah, so one of the main ways we've been collaborating is helping churches that don't normally work together collaborate on one common, area. And so for us, that's in foster care. And we just have seen beautiful cross-denominational lines collaboration of churches who don't normally work together on anything, work together on this common topic of foster care. And in and through that, through kind of like tippy-toeing their feet into the water of collaboration on one topic, they have started collaborating on more kind of areas of service. And so there is this contagious excitement and motivation around collaboration. And so we've seen that in every county where we've started collaborations of churches working together on this one topic, how they've grown and expanded, working across denominational lines together to impact more people groups on totally different subjects. And so we count that as a win because they would have never sat at the same table, but because of this, they started at the same table and that table has, grown in the way that they're serving their community.
I love that, right? They got a taste of collaboration and what could happen and what God could do through it. And now that's grown and expanded, right? Yeah. That's awesome. Love that. Jonathan, how about you?
Yeah, over a decade ago, 3 of the main Bible translation groups came into asking for money to a major donor. And he realized they were all asking money for the same thing. And he said, you guys need to start working together. And so that led to getting the leading Bible translation organizations meet every month. The CEOs meet every month for a decade and agreed on a common goal to translate the Bible in every language in the world together. They all agreed that's something they all wanted to do. And over the course of a decade, they've been able to radically accelerate. They get the Bible, instead of having the Bible translated maybe by 2083 for everyone in the world, they're talking about 2033. They took 50 years off it.
Wow.
They've also raised about $400 million on top of their budgets by donors who are ready to get behind big things to solve big problems. And that money is shared by those organizations and they decide how best to allocate it. So there's big stuff that's happening when groups can come together. And I would hope that we all see that God's heart is really behind this happening to us.
Yeah, that's incredible. Oh, guys, thank you so much for your few minutes today. And just pray and believe God's best on everything that you guys are doing. And we'll talk to you soon. But thanks so much. God bless.
Thanks, Jonathan.